Hello students, how are you? I hope you all are well and safe and staying at home. So today we begin with our first online English language class. Now before we start, let me tell you the importance of learning English language. English is the language of international communication. It is the language of business. Speaking English gives you an access to a world of entertainment. Hence, learning of English language is very valuable and can create many opportunities. So here we start with our chapter 1, Interchange of Sentences. A sentence is the basic unit of expression in English. The two other important units are word and paragraph. The effectiveness of a piece of writing can therefore be seen in terms of the quality of its sentences. So my dear children, it is very important to frame proper sentences. Because once you learn how to frame proper sentences, only then can you omit all the grammatical errors and the linguistic errors. So here we go. There are 4 kinds of sentences. As you can see in the diagram, they are divided into the 4 types. One is declarative, interrogative, imperative and exclamatory. Now declarative sentences again can be divided into 2, affirmative and negative. Affirmative means a sentence which shows positivity, and obviously a negative would show negativity. Affirmative sentence. Example is, you look fresh. Now if you have to write a negative sentence of this very same sentence, you will say, you do not look tired. Children, you may be under the misconception that just by adding a not to the given affirmative sentence, we can change it into a negative sentence. No, that's wrong. You have to change an affirmative to a negative, keeping in mind that you do not change the meaning of the sentence. So here it says you look fresh. For a negative of that would be you do not look tired. Since you don't look tired, it means you look fresh. So this is how we go about. Second type of sentence is interrogative. An example of it is, what do you want? This kind of a sentence always ends with a question mark, begins with a question like what, when, why, which, how, are, is, am, and so on. The third type is imperative sentence. Now, imperative sentences can be further divided into 3 types. Command, advice, request. Now, when we talk of command, command means an order. For example, if you're given a command to say, sit down, alright? So that's an order or a command. Next we have the advice, and you can see in the example, advice says, you should consult the doctor. Then we have request. Please open the door. You can, children, see the arrows, how the examples are given with the help of these arrows. Alright, so these are the 3 types of imperative sentences. Next we have the exclamatory sentence. Now here you can see it says, example is, alas, he is dead. So there's an exclamatory mark, he is dead. That's simple enough. Now, the most important thing which you should know in class 9 is, and which you are supposed to know very well, is interchange of sentences. Now, if you're given an affirmative sentence and you are asked to change it into a negative or vice versa, this is how you go about it. Now, the first sentence is a negative sentence. She was not sure whether it was correct. This is a negative sentence. The affirmative of that would be she was doubtful whether it was correct. This you can see is the affirmative sentence. So here you can see how we've changed by writing the opposite meaning of the given main word here. The main word is not sure. So not sure means doubtful. So this is how we change a sentence to another type without changing the meaning. We have a few more ways of interchange of sentences, and here we go with the second type, interrogative and assertive. Now, the first example is, who believes in his talk? This is an interrogative sentence. The changed sentence to this is, no one believes in his talk. This is an assertive sentence. The next example, the third one, is exclamatory and assertive. How beautiful the moon is. This is an exclamatory sentence. The moon is very beautiful. This is an assertive sentence. The next type is sentences containing the adverb TOO. Now, when we say these mangoes are too cheap to be fresh, we can also write it in this way. These mangoes are so cheap that they cannot be fresh. Next, we come to the degrees of comparison. Now, before we begin with the degrees of comparison, let me just do a quick revision of the degrees that you've studied in your previous classes. That is positive, comparative and superlative. Tall, taller, tallest. So now in class 9, you are going to study the interchange of degrees. If you are given a comparative degree, you have to change it into another degree without changing the meaning. That is the most important thing that you must keep in mind. Ashok is taller than Ravi. Comparative degree. Ravi is not as tall as Ashok. This would be the positive degree of this sentence given here. Now I have used the word tall here, and I am showing that this is tall is the positive degree, but using tall in such a manner that it doesn't change the meaning. So by using as and as, we can create a positive degree and we can change this comparative sentence to a positive sentence by this method. The next example is, no other country is as rich as America. This is again a positive degree. A positive degree is always accompanied by as and as most of the times. Now, the comparative of this would be, this is the comparative degree. America is richer than any other country. Now, why are we using the word any other? It is because America is richer than any other country, because no other country is as rich as America. Then we come to the third example, lead is heavier than any other metal. This means lead is the heaviest. So superlative would be, lead is the heaviest of all metals. And the Fourth example is Ashoka was one of the greatest kings. Now look at the difference in this sentence as well as in this sentence. Now here it says, let is the heaviest. Here it says one of the greatest. So the word one is to be kept in mind, that Ashoka was not the greatest, but he was one of the greatest. So when it says one of the greatest, that means there were few more who were greater than Ashoka. So in this case, the comparative would be Ashoka was greater than many other kings. He was not the greatest, but he was greater. Now if we just change this one here to Ashoka was the greatest king, then our comparative would be Ashoka was greater than any other king. Instead of many, we will write any other king. So this is how the interchange of sentences is done. And this is extremely important for class 9 students to know the correct way of interchange of sentences. I hope my students have understood well. We'll come with some more examples in the next class. So till then, please practice as many as you can. Thank you.